condition what passes from human brain cell activity, and therefore can condition and therefore control the direction of movement. I must emphasize on what we call evil. Evil is an extreme negative imbalance in the consciousness, and people in that mode can undo change. Evil is not forever. It is for as long as those minds choose to stay in that state of being, but in the light, or rather in the dark, of what people who desire to dominate the world and control the lives and thinking of billions are seriously imbalanced. Many of them are psychopaths. It is vital to understand this if we are to appreciate how it is possible to coolly sit down and organize the manipulation of wars, famine and disease, which bring untold suffering and misery to planet Earth. Nothing confirms this more than the creation of human robots through mind control and the almost unimaginable torture to which they are subjected. The human race have conceded control over their lives and their children's lives to a great scale. Knowledge is not positive or negative. It is always neutral. It is how knowledge is used that is positive or negative. The same knowledge that can create weapons of mass destruction can also be applied to produce free energy technology, which can provide all the powers and warmth we need to virtually no cost and no damage to the environment. So it is with what we call esoteric knowledge, which some misguided people dismiss and condemn as the occult, a word incidentally which merely means hidden. They brand this knowledge as the work of the devil. Others seem to believe naively that esoteric knowledge is by its nature spiritual and of the light. It is neither good or bad, it just is. It is only the knowledge of the nature of life and consciousness. It can be used to set consciousness free from its self-imposed limitations of potential and perception, or it can be used to inspire that very sense of limitation and powerlessness. And oh, let me not forget, let me tell you what Christianity is. Christianity was born, and nearly 2,000 years later, it still controls the minds directly or indirectly of billions today. It's a con trick, and no one is more con than most of the priests and churchmen who promote it. Christianity was soon taken over by forces of domination and turned into a vehicle of mass control. Anyone who expressed views that challenge its manufactured nonsense were systematically removed, not least through the Inquisition, which burned as heretics those who were not seen as true Christian. The definition of true was to follow without questions the doctrine imposed by the Pope himself. The esoteric knowledge, the basic truth of who we are, where we came from, and what we are doing here has been hoarded by the few in a twisted form for at least thousands of years to keep the masses in ignorance of these things. When Christianity was invented and condemned the occult so violently, the knowledge was all but eliminated from the mass consciousness as Christianity continued to export its creed through death and destruction to the Americas, Africa, Australia, and so on. The esoteric knowledge was further lost as native cultures were destroyed and Christianized. This was perfect for the manipulating force because they could now have a virtual monopoly on the knowledge of its potential to control and exploit, because the people in general were either kept in ignorance or conditioned to see such knowledge as evil. One consequence of this was the mass torture and murders of witches.
And this is all I know, and I must choose to live for all that I can give, the spark that makes the power grow, and I will stay